Well, hey guys, Bart from Bicycle Rider YouTube, and I want to do a follow-up on my long-term test of these Superteam carbon gravel wheels. I want to say Superteam carbon gravel wheels on a budget, and that's exactly what these wheels are. They didn't cost me a whole lot of money compared to what I've spent on carbon wheels in the past. And as a veteran cyclist, a veteran in the bicycle retail world, and someone that has sold a lot of carbon wheels as upgrades to people, I realized myself that the carbon wheel or lightweight set of high quality wheels is the biggest bang for your buck when it comes to bike upgrades. Sometimes that bang is pretty hard. So, used to be that, a carbon wheel set was $2,000. Prices have come down, and some of that is because the manufacturers from China, like Superteam, have upped their game. This is a series of videos on the Superteam carbon wheels. You can see when I first unboxed these things, I was in Biloxi, Mississippi. I was getting ready to put my bike on an airplane and set it over to Europe. And that's where I'm at now. Almost 3 months later, I'm in Sicily, Italy. And I have gone through riding in France, Switzerland, Sardinia, and now Italy. And one of the reasons I picked the Superteam wheels was because of the price. I wasn't quite sure if my bike was going to make it to Europe, and when it did, I didn't know what condition it would be in. I'm also traveling on a Fiat 500, which is a very small car, so the bike stays on the roof of that car quite a bit. I didn't want a very expensive bike and an expensive set of wheels to get stolen. Luckily, it hasn't happened, but if I lost a new set of Envy wheels that were $2,000 or $2,500, I would cry a lot more than losing a $500 set of Superteam wheels. Now, that's one of the reasons I put a budget set of wheels on my bike, but I also had to realize that I am going to Europe, a lifelong dream. I didn't want to risk my riding abilities on some rims that were going to fall apart on me. I am a bicycle mechanic, and I've spent a lot of time fixing wheels, building wheels, replacing spokes, truing rims, and I knew over the years of working on Superteam wheels that they're quality wheels for the price. Quality wheels regardless of the price. So I felt good knowing that I was going to put these wheels through multiple situations, and if I had a problem with these wheels, I could generally fix it. I'm a fan of the Toray carbon. I know this carbon layup that this company uses, and I believe in it. Over the years, and of course, when my customers used to come to me with a set of Superteam wheels in a box and want me to put them on their bikes, for one, I was disappointed that I didn't make the sale. And two, I felt because of the price point was so low compared to what I sold in the bicycle shop that I was putting on junk. And I didn't want my customers to have junk on their bikes. But over the years of dealing with Superteam, I found out that they're actually really good wheels. So I had to change my personal stereotype of a cheap Chinese wheel set, and I quote that. Of course, I love the Chinese people. Chinese manufacturing is amazing. So I'm just using the term that a lot of people use, the cheap Chinese wheels. Now, I have seen some cheap carbon products fail in the past. I talked about that in my last video. Friends that, have bought cheap carbon layup bars from Amazon and different online companies and had those fail. My friend Ramey House had a carbon seat post break during a race. he had to finish that whole race without a seat post. And luckily it didn't go through his leg or cause an accident. Believe me, if your carbon bars fail while riding, that's not good, and I have seen that as well. So owning a bike shop, I got to see a lot of things. But, you know, in the end, I saw Superteam wheels come through my shop needing repair, just like Zip or Envy or Roval. You know, this is a heavily used piece of equipment in cycling gear, and it takes some punishment. So I've had to replace spokes. I've had to true rims. I've had to do that on Superteam just as much as I've had to do on other brands. So when I decided I'd put Superteam on my bike, for one, I just had to laugh, and I said, you know, I'm a bike shop owner and a bit snobby when it comes to the bicycle products that go on my bike, and here I am putting Superteam wheels on. But it's because over time Superteam won my opinion of a quality wheel set. And two, I also like that they went more black. So it used to be that the wheels were really highly colorful, and you know, that's not just my style. As you can see here, like on the back, it says Superteam kind of just lightly, and then it's got the little white logo. I could live with that if these were some kind of bright yellow or something like on my shoe or on my shirt. I probably wouldn't like that as much. So color matters a bit, and Superteam, thanks for dulling down your colors. And also thanks for keeping your quality high. So when I talk about Toray carbon, it is a name brand carbon that I believe in. It's a quality carbon. And of course, Superteam does something to lay up their carbon, and a lot of manufacturers, you know, coin their phrase different, but it's a layup that adds strength and takes away weight. Yeah, it might be a selling point for sure, because that's exactly what these wheels have done. It's a 1,500 gram wheel set, you know, give or take. This is the pro model of the wheel. They also have the classic model, and I think those are 1586, so close to 1600. The pro model has a ratchet hub. I like the ratchet hub for ease of maintenance. It kind of reminds me of DT Swiss style. And I like the ratchet hub. Although with the free hub bodies, I've been using Shimano and SRAM free hub bodies for years. So if you get the one with the prawls, it's a little bit less money, and believe me, they're still solid. I believe the Shimano 11-speed free hub body that Superteam puts out has 4 prawls on it. That's good. I get 36 points of engagement with the ratchet style, and to me it's a little bit easier to service if I need to. And I haven't had to service these wheels. So they tension these wheels. As a wheel builder, I understand the tension on a wheel. You can really tighten a wheel so stiffly that it doesn't really vibrate. It doesn't soak up the vibrations very good, but it gives you that immediate power. I needed a blend, so I think that these are about 120, 130. And that is a good blend for me when I need power. It gives me power, but yet if I'm on the gravel roads, it's a subtle rim as well. So let me just tell you about some of my riding experience I've had with these wheels since I've been in Europe. Coming from Biloxi, Mississippi, I ended up starting my European trip in France. We don't have a whole lot of climbing in Biloxi, Mississippi, so believe me, taking the original wheels off of this bike that, you know, weighed another 250 grams, you know, pound and a half or so, definitely made me climb a lot easier, and I needed that. When I first got to France, the French Alps are steep, and I was climbing right away. So having a lighter set of wheels helped me climb. After you climb, you descend. So descending as well puts a lot of torsion on a wheel. A lighter set wheel definitely helps me as a lighter rider not feel that pull of the bike so much. So climbing, descending, a lighter wheel set certainly helps out. You're seeing this bike set up in gravel setup right now. So I have 42 millimeter tires on this bike. While I was in France, I had some 32 millimeter tires, so I had a road bike set up basically, and I needed that for the marginal gains and for the roads out there. I was climbing a mountain called the Selev quite a bit. And then I went into Switzerland and did some riding in Switzerland. Rode with a group at Tête de Course. So when you're new to a group, it's nice to have a fast set of wheels, a light set of wheels to help you keep up. And then I realized too that the comfort really matters. At 56 years old now, I don't really want a super stiff set of wheels, even if it is giving me those marginal gains for extra speed. I want a wheel that's a bit more comfortable. And I was riding, this is the one bike I brought. I'm used to having a whole quiver full of bikes, a gravel bike, a road bike, an endurance bike, a mountain bike. And here in France, or in Europe, I've had one bike. So one bike to do it all. The Specialized Verge has done a great job of that. But just changing the tires completely changes this bike as well. So I went from road bike setup to gravel bike setup. And now I'm in northern Italy. I've found that this is one of the most amazing places to ride a bike, especially when you're set up with the right equipment. I'm riding a lot of rural roads. They're rough, they're full of potholes, they're mixed surface with the gravel and the pavement, and having a wheel that can handle all that is great. And when I say handle that, it's not only the riding conditions, the up, the down, the undulating, the turns, the roughness of these roads. I also needed a rim that was very reliable, something that is not going to fall apart on the side of the road out there. I don't have my safety net. I don't own a bike shop anymore, and I don't have 1,000 friends I can call if I break down. So if I break down in rural Italy, Sicily, Italy, sometimes my cell phone doesn't even work. So I definitely needed a rim set that was going to, handle the rigors of what I'm going to put it through. So sometimes if you have a road bike, you're just riding it on the road, you don't need the rim to be as robust. But when you have one bike and you're doing gravel with road tires, you're doing road with gravel tires, you're going up, you're going down, you're in corners, you're riding solo by yourself, adventure riding, and then you're in a group ride. So a rim that can do multiple things is a fantastic accessory to have on your bike. The best bang for your buck, I said earlier, but sometimes it's the most expensive upgrade you could do as well. And with companies like Superteam coming out and selling a carbon wheel set at around 1,500 grams with solid components on Pillar spokes. So this is the Pro set, comes with Pillar spokes. Pillar spokes are a Chinese brand steel, a high quality brand, Chinese brand steel, and they're like a blade, but they're not completely bladed. They have a little foil to them, and they're a wing spoke. And I found out over the years, spokes make a big difference. You would think a round spoke cuts through the wind as much as a bladed spoke. It makes a big difference. And when you've got the wing design, I found it's a great blend of strength, lightweight, durability, and aerodynamics, all built into one. So I'm not saying Superteam's wheels are the best wheels in the world you can buy, but I'm saying that they are definitely a solid value for $500. I actually think I got these for about $450, and now I think you can buy the classics for less. So I bought the 38s. I think the 38s, if you look at the range of tires, go from about 32 millimeters to, I believe, about 45 millimeters. I'm running 42s. I have put 50 millimeter tires on these wheels. It has an internal rim width of 24 millimeters, which is really good. I took a set of Rovals off here, some CLX, some $2,000 wheels, and they had a 25 millimeter width, so they were a little bit wider. 24 seems great, especially if you're going to throw road tires on there and gravel tires. And they're 38 millimeters deep. So I've been in some really windy conditions. I'm glad I don't have a super deep dish wheel, but I wanted enough depth that I do get some aerodynamic advantages of that, and I think it looks cool. So on a gravel bike, I don't think you need a real deep dish wheel unless you're racing or something and terrain calls for that. So I think the 38s are a great mix, and with 25 millimeters, it does allow me to have, when I put the Roubaix 32s on there, they're nice and wide, and it fit that profile really good. With the 42s, they are a bit bulbous, but that does protect my wheels under rocks and stuff. If you look at the front of this wheel here, you can see it's pretty scarred up. I did a gravel event in Sardinia. Once again, an amazing place, but there were a lot of rocks, and you know, the bulbous tire helped protect my rims from those rocks, but you could see it did take a bit of punishment right there. So they're pretty scratched up, they're pretty beat up, but you know, I have put these wheels through some extreme conditions in the 3 months I've been in Europe, both on the road and on the gravel, and mixing those two up. When I started off in France, there were a lot of gravel roads that led to the paved roads, and of course that's when I had my road bike tires on, and I was running tubed. I didn't know on the airplane if my tires would explode running tubeless or something, so I was running tubes at that time. I was able to get switched over to tubeless, and that's another thing with Superteam. Let me tell you right now, they are a tubeless rim, but they don't come with rim tape or stems. So I bought stems, but I had the hardest time finding rim tape in Sardinia. So just realize the rim strip in here is for if you're going to run the clinchers, but if you want to go tubeless, you be prepared to tape them and put valves in them. So I finally was able to get that done. So I have run them tubeless, clincher style, with road and gravel tires, and then thankfully Green Cycle in Sardinia was able to set me up tubeless finally. But it you know, that was a month and a half into my trip. So I'm running tubeless now on them. They're great. They're a tight fit, which is what you want. They would be a pain in the butt to change on the side of the road, and a lot of that is the rim and the tire combination. So I'm running some Girona Pro 42s. I'm going to do videos on those. They're a Trek product, a Bontrager product, and they've been great wheels for the combination. But they're a pain to change on the side of the road. Hey guys, how you doing? And but I'd like to say really good things about the Superteam wheel. I don't own a bike shop, and I'm not making any money off of this. I do have a coupon code. I think it gives you 2% off, but I'm not making this video to try to get 2% off every rim that people buy from me. If you do, it goes, you know, it helps, but I'm really doing this because I want to show people a good upgrade for your bike. I want people to be happy on their bikes as I'm diving into the YouTube videos more and cycling culture. I want people to like their bikes so cycling culture grows. And when you feel the performance of a lightweight carbon wheel set, it puts a smile on your face. So I know a lot of people that bought a $2,000 bike. I did a Trek Checkpoint ALR4. The only thing I did to that bike was put a set of carbon wheels on it, and it opened that bike up as like having another gear on that bike, and it is lighter weight. So right now I'm having to carry my bike up and down stairs. I don't have a bike shop anymore or a garage here, so I'm having to carry my bike up and down stairs. And anytime I can carry a lighter bike, it makes me happy. So just know, you know, I'm showcasing these Superteam wheels because I see them advertised all over Facebook and stuff nowadays. And of course, you know, I'm a big buy where you ride, support your local bike shop guy. I know the pain of people not supporting my bike shop. So if I couldn't blame my customers for buying this wheel set for the price. If you are a bike mechanic and you can set up your tubes and tires yourself, that's great. But if you buy these things offline, man, bring them to your local bike shop and have your bike mechanic pay them a little bit of money to swap things over for you. And that way you're including the local bike shop in the sale as well. So now if you're capable, do it yourself. I always say support your local bike shop. But these wheels are such a good value, and then Superteam is becoming such a good company that I have to give them credit where credit is due. My bike has ridden awesome in my European vacation. The last thing I wanted was a rim problem. And if I did, I was hoping that I could find a local bike shop that replaced a spoke for me. If they weren't confident replacing a carbon spoke, I could do it myself. I didn't need a special spoke interface to make that happen. With the quality of the machining of the free hub with the hub bodies and stuff, and I just felt very confident with these spokes.